till you get home. Hey.
Because I know people.
Hey, Tasha,
Hi,
how
good
are
evening.
you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. You see, I'm all, Friday night glam.
Hey, looking like the hot girl Friday night
I
hot
mean,
girl.
I am. I just came in from a holiday get together amongst friends and colleagues. And so,
Very
you know,
nice. You look very cute.
yes, well, thank you very much. But, I couldn't miss tonight.
I
Couldn't miss
appreciate
tonight.
you. Appreciate you showing up for the people.
I'm here for you, babe. Here for you. All right, so tonight, let's get into it. We are talking about, which is a really timely conversation, right?
Yes.
For us in general, too.
Yep.
3 ways to get a stronger relationship. Now, for those of you who are watching, Tasha and I do not pre-discuss these conversations at all. We come up with the topic and say, we'll see what happens.
See what happens. It's very organic.
Very organic, right? And so if you have any comments and if you have anything you'd like to share, please do so in the chat. But 3 ways to get a strong relationship. I want to first say about this topic, this is something that you and I had goals about personally years ago.
Yep.
And
still have relationship goals.
Right? And the relationship goals that we're talking about, excuse me, my head's in my eye.
Yeah. Hey, Gail, how are you? I'll share mine.
Huh?
While you fix your hair.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Okay.
One of my relationship goals was really just to be more loving, right?
Yeah.
To show up as more loving. I think with me personally, there's just so much stuff that goes on in my life. Like I may have a fleeting loving thought, but I don't act on it. And so for me to just be more intentional about showing up as loving, spending quality time with people and, remembering birthdays and that sort of thing.
Hey, Gangsta E.
Hi, Evangeline.
Hey, now. And so, and you, we'll just talk about you for a moment. We'll get to me. There were people who had a different interpretation of you than you saw for yourself.
Yeah.
Hi, Nan. New hairdo. Yes, it is a new hairdo.
Oh, my God. Listen, enjoy it for the week.
I know, right? Enjoy it for the week. Who knows what next week? But anyway, and so people had a different interpretation of you. People were really like, you knew who you were, but they weren't seeing who you were truly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, they liked, the representative was even nice, right? They liked the representative, but I really wanted to share more of myself authentically. And I think over the years that I've been able to do that. Not wide and deep,
yeah.
But, for a few people.
Yeah. I can say that I think what your intention was just to be a bit more vulnerable and people to see behind, and I know because I got phone calls. Oh my God, I had, Tasha's so great. Oh my God, I would get the phone calls.
Yeah. The story that they've made up for themselves about me, right? Just because of the little bit that they know. They people, this is what people do, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. If you don't share with them and tell them, they will make up their own story, right?
Well, listen, Tasha Davis is a sharpshooter. So you throw that sharpshooter.
What about you and your relationship goals?
Well, I wanted to have stronger relationships. I wanted to be more intentional about my relationships. And I don't recall what instigated that, but I knew that's what I wanted. Right. Yeah. And so you and I, as accountability partners, went through what are things that you're going to do. Right. And one of the things I did, like particularly with my family, is that I live in North Carolina. I've got a lot of family that lives in Maryland. And one of the things I'm just very intentional about is that, because anyone who knows me knows that I will have a very filled calendar soon as I land in Maryland.
Right.
And for the next however many days I'm there, that calendar is full till I get on the plane coming home. And that's without exaggeration. And I just the first night is with my family.
Yeah.
We are going to have dinner together. We are going to play cards together. We're going to do something. But that first night, I'm with them. Now
And as
they
an
also know.
accountability partner, I know this.
Yes.
Right? And I don't remember a lot of things, but this one I remember, and I can be helpful in reminding you as you set your agenda.
I did. Right. And so now listen, my family knows they're not going to see me for the rest of the time that I'm there.
Yeah.
And I'm staying in their house. But I'm very intentional. But it's been great. Right? It's great because now we have all kinds of new memories. We have a couple of years ago, my family went on vacation, and my cousins and I had an absolutely fantastic time together. I also drank a lot, but that's not why we had a great time. But so I say all that to say, like, that's been a goal of ours, and we've worked on it, and we've come at it from different angles for different reasons, and held each other accountable.
That's really nice. I do think you are a master of relationships, right? I think you and your family is a really good example. One of the points I wanted to make tonight was it takes both sides, right?
Yes.
I can have as many goals as I want to create stronger relationships, but if the people or the person on the other side is not showing up and being as engaged, then what do we do, right?
Yeah. For sure. I would say that. And it's also about being engaging. And I guess for me, like, I'm always about making something active and fun, like that we all want to participate in. Right. And so, my family loves food, or if we're playing a game of cards, we love to make noise and talk trash. And, I talk the most trash in the world, and I rarely win. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I rarely win.
And let me say, engaging and fun is different for different people.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's finding that common ground between you and whoever the person is that you're in a relationship with, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. And quality times is different things for different people and different relationships. Right. But let's talk about the 3 tips that we want to give that are helpful for people to build stronger relationships. Make sure you truly connect. Now, how did you truly begin to connect with people?
For me, it was one-on-one time, right? I think and when we talk about relationships, it's not just a romantic relationship.
No.
It's your family relationships, like you talked about, right? Like our girlfriends, or any other family friends. And for me, I need quality time, one-on-one quality time. And so being able to carve out that time to spend with people was important for me, and that's the way I was able to do it, because I could focus, right?
Yeah.
If I was in a group of people, or if I was trying to connect with them other ways, for me it just didn't work out. And so and that's one of my love languages, right? Quality time.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to focus on that one person. And so I gave really what I wanted to receive back in a relationship.
I think it's also important that when you make that connection, you got to put the phones down. Like, sometimes people, I remember you and I went out to dinner. You came to Charlotte, we went out to dinner, and we sat next to this young couple.
Oh,
at
man.
that very nice restaurant.
Awful.
And they were both on their cell phones, taking pictures of themselves at the restaurant. Like, it's a married couple.
Food, but no interaction with each other.
They never interacted with each other. Listen, I'm sure if you saw their Instagram, it was the most romantic night. It was not.
Oh my God. It was unbelievable to watch that just like play out in real life.
It was uncomfortable because at a certain point, the woman stopped, and the man and he was clearly just scrolling.
He took a phone call.
I mean, and scrolled and eaten. I was like, you could have stayed home and watched television for all of this.
It was awful.
And they got dressed up. Had on suits. She had on heels. She did put her napkin in her dress. That was something else. But that was the most countryest thing ever. But it's important, right? We're talking about the importance of connecting. You must connect. You must put down the phone. Give someone your full attention.
Yeah.
Right. And that is important in making true connection, making the time, however you spend it, but make sure you're truly present in the moment.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Tip 2, address conflicts.
Mm.
Ooh, you want to talk about this one?
Hey, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use our example
Yep.
last week. And I think it's important in relationships, right? So last week, I don't even remember necessarily what was going on, but like Sharon was dealing with something and I was dealing with something, and I was feeling very sensitive, and she was being very mean to me.
Is that how it went? Is that how it went?
That was my interpretation,
All
right?
right.
I felt like she wasn't being sensitive, but she didn't know that I was feeling sensitive, right?
Right.
And so, and she was going through whatever she was going through, and I was probably being snarky and just hanging up quick, because I was like, I'm so tired of like listening to her. I can't take another minute of it, right? And I don't know if it was to the end of the week, and it was just like, we just talked about it, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I was snarky or rude to you this week. Here's what I was dealing with that I wasn't ready to articulate, right?
Yeah.
And she did the same thing. It's not often that we are both going through something at the same time that we
Yes.
aren't like fully communicating about. Um, and so, but in my logical mind, I knew that she always has my best interest at heart, and she
Yes.
wasn't purposely trying to hurt my feelings. But I was just in my feelings last week.
Yeah.
I was deep in my feelings last
Yes.
week.
Yes.
And I couldn't take another person not being nice to me.
And I didn't know. So I mean, that's also right.
Absolutely.
One, I didn't know, but also I had my own stresses that I was trying to manage, and projects I'm trying to stay on top of, and traveling and so on and so forth, and getting making sure everything. And I had my own stresses, and I think we've had stresses building up, right?
Yeah.
And so our relationship is no different from any other. We, despite being in 2 different states, 400 miles away, we spend a lot of time together.
Yeah. A lot.
We do. We spend a lot of time together. And so it's only natural that we get on each other's nerves sometimes. But I think it was very good that we were both able to humble ourselves and say, hey, you know what?
Sorry.
It's just,
I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it. And I know that I've been going through stuff, and I know I've been stressed, and it could, even though I didn't know that I was being snarky. Well, these words I would not use, but she says I was being snarky. I didn't know, but I did know that I probably wasn't showing up as my best.
Right? It probably wasn't any different than you normally are.
I don't know how I feel about the statements that are coming out of your mouth. So,
I mean, we joke with each other. We joke with each other a lot.
We do,
right?
We do.
But jokes hit differently if I'm feeling very sensitive, right? And so,
absolutely.
It was.
No,
It was
and listen, I knew, and I got a smart mouth, I got a slick mouth, and if I'm not in my best energy, it hits different. I know that,
does.
And so, thank you.
I'm disagreeing with what you're saying. The point is, address the conflicts, right? Like, I say man enough, right? But be woman enough to just say, here's how I'm feeling, or, I'm sorry if, I did whatever because I was feeling a certain way.
I had someone once tell me, a mentor tell me, and it was a great advice. She said, if you humble yourself before someone, they basically have no choice but to humble themselves before you. Right? So if you want to move forward, just do it. They will do it too. If they're any sort of decent person, right? If you are a jerk, you're just going to be a jerk no matter what. But if you're any sort of decent person, they will humble themselves before you as well.
That's good. I like that. Evangeline says, so often you make time, but others don't. I mean, listen, for me, my time is very precious, right? People know how much I have going on.
Yes.
And how every hour of my day is filled. And if you don't want to make the time, that's fine. There's someone else that can fill that time. And so my advice is, if they don't make the time, then ride out to the next, right? Like,
no, I totally agree with that. I have a very close relative who I've not seen in 2-3 years now, because they just stopped showing up, and I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm so cool with that. All
I
right.
have a girlfriend that'll ask me something, right? But then she wants to, she gonna take the best choice. But you asked me, you wanted to hang out with me, and I'm telling you this is what I'm doing. Well, something better might come up. Like that's what happens.
Oh, I've had that.
And
Yeah.
so, okay, right. Like we just don't spend time together, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend do that once, and she learned very quickly. I always had the better things going on. She learned very quickly. She doesn't do that anymore. All right. Tip 3, change the vibe.
Yeah.
How do you change the vibe?
For me, it's gonna be something funny. Try and make that other person laugh. Like my dancing, right? My dancing always makes you laugh. It makes you happy, whether you want to admit it or not.
You know, the word happy is being used so subjectively right now. I don't know, happy. I mean, can I just say, I mean, like, you did give me joy. We had a party together this past weekend.
Oh yeah, you had a wonderful time at my expense.
Oh, because I had flashbacks of who you were in high school on the dance floor.
Listen,
and you saw who I was on the dance floor.
Absolutely, I did, right? For you, I will dance.
Let me tell you something. That was hilarious. I mean, and you also see like why in high school, my best friend today would be like, listen, I'm gonna need someone else to hang out with. We're gonna come to this party together, but you're gonna leave me. So I'm gonna need someone else to hang out with because it ain't gonna be you.
Yeah. No, I'm not a dancer. I was the one that was reading, right? I wasn't dancing. I know Evangela is laughing, right? Because that was always my comeback. He'd be like, Tasha, you can't dance. And I'm like, yeah, but I can read.
But we can read and dance, right?
I can read better than those people that was out there.
You did not even have the good comeback. You didn't have the good comeback. But changing the vibe is so important, right? Because also, if all you ever do is talk to a person about stress and stressful things and drama, and all y'all ever do is come back and drama and drama and drama, and you don't ever flip it up. Come on, why am I coming to talk to you? Because you're a pain in the behind. Yeah. All you got is negative stuff to say.
I do have a friend like that, and I know every time I talk to him, I'm gonna hear about who died and what happened and this, that, and the other. I mean, that's like maybe once a year I can take that, and I'd be like, right. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
And listen, and you and I talked, and I've got a girlfriend who was just very negative, and I'd get off the phone mentally drained and exhausted, and I was like, Tasha, it's got to be every couple of months that I can talk to her because I can't, right? Yeah. So changing the vibe, changing that energy, talking about upbeat things, laughing about stuff, really, you can still talk about that other stuff, but don't let it be the first thing you talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Don't let it be the first 3 things you talk about. Hell, skip a whole conversation of talking about negative stuff, and maybe every other conversation. No one wants that. No one needs that.
Even when it's not all the time, right? Like for us, I don't know if it was last week or whatever, you said, well, I'm gonna tell you something funny, right? Because you could sense the weight in me. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so you were like, oh, let me just tell you something funny. And we kind of laughed, and that did sort of change my vibe for that morning. So that was
Don't remember that at all. Glad I did it. Don't remember that.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, don't remember. I hope I was really funny. I don't remember at all, but that's great.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm here for you all the time. I'm always here for you. But I'm one who likes to laugh and smile and joke. So yeah, it is.
And so I like to dance.
All right. All right, so let's just go over 3 tips again, right? So yeah. First tip, make sure you truly connect. Yeah. Put the phone down, make it a meaningful connection, spend some time, make quality time. Tip 2, address the conflicts. It's okay. It doesn't mean that it has to be an argument, and it could be really simply humble yourself and own your own part in it. Hey, I didn't handle that very well.
Yep.
And the person will humble themselves before you. Tip 3, change the vibe.
Lighten it up.
Lighten it up. Be someone that someone wants to spend time with.
Right?
If you want to have a stronger relationship, let them be like, oh man, every time I get with her, oh my gosh, I just have such a or you know, we just had such a great talk, we have such a great time, we connect so well. I walk away feeling so much better.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, that's going to do it for us. I want to say thank you for joining the Accountability Queens. As
Thank you,
always,
ladies.
you can follow us. You can go to our website, accountabilityqueens.com. You can follow us on social, on Facebook, and on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. And we've got some really important stuff happening at the beginning of the year. Definitely at the beginning of the year, right, Tasha?
That's right.
All right, Tasha, it's a pleasure.
Always. Have a good night.
Talk to you. Oh, good night. Good night. Good night, y'all. Good night, Gangsta E.